Hey listeners, it's Paul Andriola here. Why not join our community at Small Cap Discoveries, where we offer our members direct access to some of the best microcap investment opportunities available. Our members are getting access to premium microcap financings, research reports, and direct access to management. Sign up today at www.smallcapdiscoveries.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Small Cap Discoveries conference call. Today is September 12th, 2024, and today we have the team from Simply Better Brands. Simply Better Brands trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol SBBC, and it also trades on the OTC under SBBCF. The company is currently trading at 65 cents with about 94 million shares outstanding, or about a $61 million market cap. I'd now like to hand it over to Paul Andriola.
Hey, thanks a lot, Trevor. Yeah, great to have the team from SBBC here. I know a number of our members are shareholders, so I know there's some excitement to have you guys on. So it's great to have you guys here with us today. We know a little bit about the business, but clearly you guys know a lot more. So happy to have you guys give us the full story about the company. Lots of changes going on, so lots of neat stuff to hear about. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys and start with the presentation, and then we can follow up with some questions.
Okay, great, Paul. Thanks very much, and welcome everybody, and thank you for being with us here this afternoon. My name is Kingsley Ward. I'm the chairman and CEO of Simply Better Brands, which we're going to get to in 1 minute. But I thought it would be important to give you some background about myself and our group here at VRG Capital. So we're going to run you quickly through our story. And as you can see here, we're a group of family offices focused on making private equity investments, really long-term in our focus. We're buy, build, hold mentality. And we have on the screen here, my father and myself been active here. We passed away a number of years ago, but we really are the two lead families, so the Ward family and the Cochrane family. Our distinguished chairman, Mr. Feeney, is very active with us, and we have additional families that participate with us in making our investments. By the numbers, we've been in over 70 different businesses. We've raised over 500 million in capital for these businesses. Our average hold period is over 15 years. So back to that long-term focus. Our investment banking activities, mostly led through our team at Clarus Securities, has raised over $20 billion for our clients in over 500 some transactions. Our sector focus, we've got 4 areas that we like to play in: healthcare, life sciences. You'll see here the current portfolio includes Healwell AI, a business we're pretty excited about and been very active with over the last year or so. Simply Better, we're going to talk about. We got some other small companies here. Another business which some of you may be familiar with is DCM. I'm the chairman over there. Richard Kellum, who's on the call with us, is the CEO over there and is on our board. We've had a number of investments in that sector as well. Financial services, we've got Clarus, we have a hedge fund. Dominion Lending is in our world as well. Some other financial service entities we've been involved in. And the tech stack here, or the technology businesses, we have a number of software companies that we're invested in. So moving to the topic of the day, Simply Better Brands. I think, first of all, we're going to be talking about some forward-looking statements. So in traditional, disclaimer mode, we have these for your review. And the first item here is I want to give you a little bit of background on how we got involved in the business. In February 23, we led a $7 million private placement, took 2 board seats, Richard and myself, and became the largest shareholders of SBBC. And we were really excited about the trajectory of the business heading towards $100 million of revenue at the time. During the course of the year, it looked like we had some serious cash flow issues. We considered some strategic alternatives, primarily for the CBD business, and we really felt that there was a misalignment between us, the largest shareholders, and our CEO. So in February of 2024, we led a follow-on investment with Erica into SBBC. I took the chairman and CEO role, and we initiated a significant restructuring effort, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Further on in the year, Erica, myself, and my partners put up $3 million of sub-debt to facilitate onboarding of $10 million in new credit lines, and bring our cost of capital significantly down. Next, here we go. On all restructuring efforts, I'm pleased to report are in the rearview mirror. We brought our operating expenses down by a third, headcount down by 2/3, closed 10 of 17 operating divisions, the largest being PureKana. And through that effort with PureKana, we're very fortunate to report that we actually took $13 million of debt off of our combined balance sheet by placing that into a very soft landing through a Chapter 7 process. Again, we tried the strategic alternatives, but they were unsuccessful. We always knew we had a star in the portfolio, and that's TRUBAR. It's where we're focused today. Vast majority of all our resources are going to build TRUBAR. More on that in a minute. And we have these other two small groups of brands that we're working with. Next, yeah, here you go with the current portfolio. The TRUBAR story, which we're going to turn to Erica in 1 minute. We have our next gen beauty line and our plant-based wellness, but we're not going to talk a lot about those today, folks. This is all about TRUBAR. And to tell you more, Erica, I'm turning it over to you. Erica, I think you're muted.
So sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much, Kingsley. I am Erica Groussman, the CEO and founder of TRUBAR. My mother was a maven of fad diets, so I learned super early how important it is to have something that not only tastes good, but makes you feel good afterwards. So TRUBAR was invented just for that. They're all vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, no sugar alcohols, clean ingredients, and they taste delicious. I'm sure most of you have tried them and are continually enjoying them, because once you start, you can't stop. You can't fake deliciousness. So TRUBAR is it's in a sector where there's $6 billion in the global snack bar industry, and ours is a plant-based, which has a 14% CAGR. So even with no resources at all, we couldn't get funding to do any marketing. We couldn't get our stuff out of co-mans. I mean, we had so much trouble. We still were able to grow year over year. As you can see, 1 million to 10 million to 24.5. And now we have a guidance of 45 to 50, which we're on track for, and a clear path to 100 million, hence the call. And we have this with clear plan, right? We have a distribution expansion plan of exactly where we need to get to, how we're going to get there, and what it's going to do for us. With a marketing acceleration plan, we have a lot of new partnerships that we're talking to, and we'll talk more about that. But we have Domino, which is a phenomenal partner that we're just bringing on, and really excited to see what comes of it. And an innovation pipeline. So we know exactly what we're going to do in Horizon 1, Horizon 2, Horizon 3. So we have a clear path of where we're going. Here's some of our major stores that we have recently launched, a bunch of them. As you can see, you can now start to see what they are. But soon we'll be able to disclose all of them. And you can see that they're really nice store counts, and it's going to help us a lot in the future. But not only with the major, we're also concentrating on smaller regionals, right? Regional grocery that is, and C stores that are important to neighborhoods and trial and getting it out there. So major as well as minor and regional stores are all very important, and we're getting in all of them. We're also working on international. So we have amazing sales broker agencies that we utilize. And we also have amazing partners that we've already been using, like Costco and other stores. And we're working and discussing going into these different locations across the world: Mexico, UK, Australia, and of course, Canada. We are focused on, and we will elaborate more, but we know how important it is to get further distribution inside of Canada, and we have an amazing plan to do that. Amazon. So we launched just before January. And as you can see, we didn't even have funds to put inventory in. And we slowly were able to, once we got inventory and were able to market it a little bit, look at the numbers. We went from 40,000 to 100,000 to 240 to 450. And, you know, I'm hoping that we're going to do 600 this month or next month. That's my hopes. I think that we'll get there. We're doing really well, and we're seeing a lot of repeat purchases. So it's phenomenal. So our margins, we've been able to significantly increase them just based on the volumes that we're doing, as well as our ingredient purchasing contracts. So with those, you can see that we've significantly been able to, this past year, increase all of those across not only club, but convenience, you know, and e-commerce. A little bit about Tru. We have a very small team. We're very lean, and it's awesome. We have this asset light model where we utilize sales brokers. So we have a lot of men on the floor, right, working, and we just pay a small percentage. And then we have our co-mans. We have 2 co-mans and 2 3PLs across the nation. So we can get things anywhere within a couple days for a very cost savings. So it's a great model where we don't have, you know, own any buildings or any material like machinery, and we can be lean and be getting in everywhere. This is one of our newest partners, Davino, where one of our board members, lucky enough to get us in here to allow this partnership. They do not deal with small companies like us. They only deal with, as you can see, Meta and Home Depot and Wells Fargo's of the world. But we're really lucky to be able to be working with them, and they have amazing technology. It's all AI, and it's going to be phenomenal. We're just getting started, so we're really excited for this partnership to see where it goes. So you'll see more on that. Here's some of our innovation. We've got new flavors that we're working on, different pack sizes for different retailers, whether it's 4-pack, 5-pack, as well as different 14-pack and 16 counts. We also are working on minis. So more to come on all that.
I'm going to talk a little bit about folks about some historic transactions in the space. I think it's really important for everybody to understand where we're headed. If you look at this chart, you see some of our competition here, and I want to bring your attention to the revenue lines here, the revenue of these entities. You see 84, 97, 120. Our distinguished board members with deep sector knowledge from the space are telling us that when companies like TRUBAR get traction and start to move up towards that $100 million mark, you get on the radar of these large players, and you're going to get a call. So we're hoping that that's going to happen, but we'll continue to focus on building the business till it does. But look at the multiples that these businesses have traded at. You know, you're talking 3 to 5 times revenue multiples. We're super excited that, you know, we continue to build to this $100 million mark. We could possibly get 400 plus for the business. And so, you know, it's all about growth on the top line while maintaining profitability along the way. Next slide, please. Yeah, mention the board members with the deep sector knowledge. You heard a little bit about my story. Paul Norman is the former president of Kellogg's North America, and he actually led the acquisition of RX Bar for Kellogg's. So deep knowledge in the space. Richard, 20 years at Mars, the top of the house, has super deep experience in the sector as well. Was not there when they bought the Kind Bar group, but certainly knows the players and the ecosystem that surrounds that acquisition. And you know, we're excited to learn from Richard and use his experience to guide us going forward. One of the things that Richard did was bring on this gentleman, St. Jin Walsh, is how you pronounce his name, the former CEO of BBDO, a $3 billion advertising agency of the part of the $15 billion Omnicom group. We're thrilled to have him on board, and he's helping us with guiding our marketing and sales initiatives, plus talking about future, opportunities. Erica, of course, Brock's been with us for 25 years before his distinguished career at RBC. And Michael, super helpful in the finance camp with his background from KPMG. So turning to our financial highlights, you can see here, first half, we hit about $20 million of revenue, maintaining EBITDA positive for the first half of the year. I want to highlight and make sure that everybody understands our revenue is not going to be, a lineal line up. We have some quarter large amount of activities in different quarters, and this is what affected us in the second quarter. It looks like revenue is down, but I want to just comment on, look, we're on a clear run rate to 45 to 50 million. We continue to build traction, and we are clearly on track to deliver on that in the back half of the year. You also see improvement in the gross margins here. So all good on the financial front. Market cap, as mentioned earlier, you see here we got about an $80 million market cap. I want to bring your attention to management and directors own over 20% of this business, and we've contributed significantly in every major round of financing here, raising $11 million. We were over 40% of that capital. That's on the equity front. I want to highlight, we extinguished $13 million of debt through the restructuring. We also onboarded through our relationships, a $5 million line of credit and $5 million of credit facilities to help grow the business with a tier one bank, as opposed to the factoring companies that the company was using prior to us showing up earlier this year. We also, Erica, myself, and my VRG partners, provided a $3 million prom note to help onboard the working capital line that we mentioned earlier. So you've got the story there. I'll wrap it up with, we're super excited about what you've heard today. Our hero brand, TRUBAR, is really what we're all about. All resources on that to execute distribution expansion, marketing acceleration, and innovation. We're well capitalized with the financing efforts that I've mentioned here, and back to guidance of 45 to 50 million in revenue for 2024. And I want to maintain we will be EBITDA positive. So that's it for our story. Happy to go to Q&A. Paul, what would you like? Where we go from here?
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. I want to remind everybody that's listening, once again, if you've got a question you'd like me to ask the team here, please use the chat function, and we'll ask the question. I've been fortunate enough to try TRUBAR. I think it is a great product. I think almost pretty well everybody that I know that's tried it, says the same thing. I'm curious a little bit in terms of where you go next with the product in terms of different iterations, different flavors, different things like that. Erica, maybe you can touch on that and let us know where it goes from here.
Yeah, I have so many flavors on the horizon. I've been working really hard on getting more dessert inspired flavors, really fun ones. So I can't wait to share them. I can't yet, but they're really good. Delicious. So those are just a couple. There's a lot more that I've been working on.
But is it just bars? I mean,
right now, yeah, of course. Oh,
Yeah.
We can definitely take it further. But right now, we only are going to concentrate on bars. There will be maybe some with more protein, less sugar, a children's one maybe. So we're definitely playing with it in different formats, right? Like have some crunch in it, But right now we're going to focus on bars because it's the best tasting bar, right? Like anyone who tastes it can't wait to have more. So I've never been with anyone who says they don't like them.
Yeah.
So
Good. Now you've got some big brand names that you're working through, Costco and some at CVS recently. Give us a sense of what's the process there to land some, an organization like this. I'm sure it's not easy, but maybe how long does it take? What's the process? What can you tell us there?
So we've actually been really lucky, like a couple of these larger ones that you see here. We went and presented, and maybe they weren't going to take us in, right? There's resets. Maybe they weren't going to take us in for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, and they ended up finding space for us sooner. So, I mean, when you're a really good tasting bar and the buyer likes it and actually like is like, oh my gosh, I already get this at Costco, it's kind of a shoo-in, right? So we've been really lucky with a couple of these here that we got in earlier. But it is a process. Typically, you have to present, you send in documents, then you present, and then you find out later. So.
Mhm.
And Erica, I might add,
yeah.
the broker relationships are critical, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
we've got a fantastic team of those, right?
We do. We have tier 1 brokers that are phenomenal that get us the in, right? That get us the meeting. But then the bar sells itself.
It always helps when you can sample something very quickly and
yeah.
Exactly. You mentioned marketing. What are your sort of responsibilities to market on behalf of these organizations? Let us know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so you want to spend marketing dollars. You want to get brand awareness, right? We're launching in so many doors and it's so exciting to be in all these, but some people haven't seen our bar yet, right? Or haven't tried it. So in order for them to pick it up and taste it or see it and hear about it and know that it's delicious. So we do a program with them. I love sampling. When we do any sampling in any of the stores, I mean, sales just skyrocket, right? Like 4,000% we've seen, because it's just delicious. And once you try it, you can't wait to have it. But he brought it to the marketing company that we just partnered up to. They too are going to get it in front of people, right? They have AI technology that it's going to target people who maybe have looked at it or heard about it, or and we have new technology that's attached to our website and attached to our social media that we can see actually where they saw it, how they saw it, and what they did. Where did they go? Where did they buy it? So it's amazing what's out there to be able to track it.
Awesome. Clearly the business has been through some challenges here over the last little while and sort of restructuring things like that. But now that you're a little bit more on sort of solid footings, what's the sort of go forward challenges that you guys face? What sort of keeps you up at night right now?
Yeah, Paul, look, the restructuring initiatives are in the rearview mirror. The balance sheet is stabilized. We got enough capital to take us on our path to the $100 million number that we've talked about here. So look, it's traditional concerns, right? You never know. You could always have some problem with production. A recall probably is the worst nightmare you could have as a CPG organization. So, it's that and traditional business risk really that comes into play here. But you have to think about this simple fact. Erica, with no resources, okay? I mean, no capital, no team members weighing in at all, was able to build this thing to, we are on a definitive path to $50 million of revenue. So, now that we've got the new team and lots of resources around her, we're very, very excited about watching her execute the plan. So look, traditional business risk, but I think we've got most of the bases covered with the experienced team helping Erica make the decisions here to keep moving forward.
We also have redundancy in any issue that could arise, like in most, so typically, like he had mentioned, supply chain or, but we do have redundancy. We are set up for success as far as co-mans go, ingredients, packaging, all of that is we're in a good place.
Yeah.
Just wanted to add that. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so, but if we take a step back, yeah, TRUBAR is clearly the shining star here. You've got a couple other business lines. Are you guys looking outside for anything else to add to this, or are you doubling and tripling down on TRUBAR?
Yeah, Paul, look, 100% of our focus here is on TRUBAR at this time. And I see this, for the next few quarters, it's all about, this company was in pretty rough shape in the first quarter when we took over. So, lots of time and energy has gone into the restructuring, but that's in the rearview mirror. It's now all about surrounding Erica with some fantastic resources. That's what the game plan is in the short term. And down the road, we'll certainly be looking for the next TRUBAR. And, the small little divisions that we have today, we'll manage those and see where it goes. But this is really about the focus of TRUBAR.
Mm-hmm. Oh, perfect. Okay, well, listen, let's take some questions in from the audience here, and then I've got a couple wrap-up questions down the road here. So if you can be a little patient with me, here we go. Okay, so Chris asks, is listing on samsclub.com part of the same strategy as listing on walmart.com to gain entry into their physical stores?
Erica?
Yeah, so we launched on samsclub.com about a month ago, and we're doing phenomenally well. It's very exciting, and yeah, that is the game plan, right? To show how well we're doing on the .com, and then to move into stores physically.
Yeah. How important it is that you're so successful in some of these other stores? You would think that it's easy to go to, whether it's CVS or a new player, and say, look at our numbers here. Why aren't you guys carrying us? Is that have I simplified your marketing plan?
It does. I mean, so we send out samples, right? And then we have our meeting, typically very similar to this. And before we're even done with the deck, they know they pretty much want us, most people anyways. I don't want to sound cocky, but but once they've tried it, they really are excited. And then we paint the story to them. We show them our numbers, right? Like we were in Whole Foods, we were in 30 Whole Foods with zero marketing dollars. And we were next to the Kind, the RX, the Go Macro bars that have millions and millions of marketing dollars. And we were the #1 bar, right? So it's an easy story to show that our packaging goes right off, it's sexy and vibrant, and then with all the call outs and how good they are. Yeah, it sells itself. So yes.
Gotcha.
But if you want to get in sooner, you gotta, sometimes you have to start online.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so another question in regards to sort of sales and things, but Chris says, how is TRUBAR performing in Costco? Is it still hitting the $1,000 per week per location needed to maintain its listings?
Yeah, Costco's an amazing partner, and we are just seeing phenomenal growth from the consumers there, and we are definitely exceeding our threshold. So everything's amazing there.
Yeah, I think just some of the cohorts of people I know may be responsible for half those numbers at some of the local stores here. Okay, so Charles says, looking at competition, specifically Cliff Bar, they have a builder protein bar that contains 21 grams of protein, 17 grams of sugar, 290 calories. Is there plans for TRUBAR, possibly have a TRUBAR Max with double the size? This would equal 260 calories, 24 grams protein, and between 12 grams and 18 grams of sugar. There's clearly somebody that knows, knows this stuff. Yeah.
So Charles, I actually have not thought of a double-sized bar. So maybe this will go on the horizon to be discussed. But I have been toying with a larger, more protein bar. So that is being worked on right now, and in the, somewhere in the future. But I have not even thought about that. So maybe that is something that we should consider, a TRUBAR Max. Thank you, Charles.
There you go. We'll call it the Charles Bar. We'll call it the Charles Bar.
Exactly, Charles Bar.
Yeah. So Erica, let's talk a bit about that. Clearly, you're the brains behind this product early on, but what happens when it comes to innovating a new product? how involved are you, and maybe who else is it? And is it in your kitchen? Are you doing this, or can you give me a
No.
sense of what happens with something new?
I wish I just cleaned up my desk, so it's beautiful, but I normally have all kinds of samples all over it, but I have nothing right now. Otherwise I'd show you what they look like. I test every single bar, and I go through the tasting profile. I build out what flavors we want to do. I'm super hands-on, and they take months to go through. It's a lot of taste testing and talking about the flavors and the texture and, exactly what we want to do. So I'm very hands-on with it, and it takes a while, and it's exciting though. It's definitely fun, right? It's a lot of fun.
I can imagine.
And Erica, that's working with the co-mans, right? On the R&D front?
Yes, it is.
And
I'm not doing it in my
maybe-
kitchen.
Yeah. And look, as far as guidance here, Mr. Kellum and the evolution, the years that he spent at Mars has been super active on an advisory role with Erica. I think, invaluable advice coming there in terms of the evolution path that we should be taking. But Erica's just doing a great job here. But I just want to highlight, this is with the co-mans, okay? And
Yes, I'm not making it in my kitchen.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of the largest, the largest co-mans in the sector.
Wow. And Kingsley, you really touched on something. I mean, you do have a phenomenal board as far as experience from different sectors, and almost a board that hits above, the weight class of the size of the business right now. So clearly you're sort of preparing this thing for greater events here. So definitely wanted to highlight that. Okay, so next question, Chris comes in and says, are there plans to market Simply Better Brands, I guess, a stock, to U.S. investors to boost OTC activity? So far, it's primarily a Canadian story.
Yeah, for sure. Look, folks, we need to evolve. There was no real IR strategy before we got on the scene here. We've been in hurry up restructuring mode now, helping get the resources around TRUBAR, and we certainly are turning our attention to the IR camp. And absolutely, we will be expanding those efforts in the U.S. here over the next few quarters.
Fair enough. Perfect. Okay, so Hassan, this is an Erica question. Erica, are you having pressure from Costco to lower prices? Do any of your retailers put pressure on you as far as pricing?
No, not at this time. We're right in line as far as pricing goes.
Okay, perfect.
We're
Next
competitive.
question. Yeah, good. Paco asks, if the big difference with the competition is the flavor, what is the probability they will copy the product?
I mean, being copied is the biggest, form of flattery. Of course, I think people will definitely try, right? I think that there are some that are, trying already with packaging being brighter, that. But I think we've built over the years, the clientele, the consumers that know that our product has been consistent and stays true to, all of our call outs, clean ingredients that you can read. So, and then flavors that are just amazing. So as of right now, I'm not concerned at all. Of course, there are going to be people who try, right? It's just part of it, but I'm not scared.
Yeah.
We're not
scared. And you shouldn't be. So much of this business, and I think Kingsley touched on it earlier, it's the buy versus build equation, right? You establish a significant brand, a bigger player is more likely to buy you out than try to really compete if you've got breadth of product already. So I would think that, yes, they may try, but it might just be easier for them to take you out, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah.
Paul, I want to pick up on this point. Okay. Again, leaning on my three world-class directors with, deep sector experience, what they're telling us is very simple, is that, look, you focus on getting a run rate up to 100 million, then you get on the radar. These large organizations are not in the innovation game. They want to buy you. They'll pay a premium for you. They plug them into their ecosystem, and you take $100 million business and turn it into a $400 million business inside of 12, 18 months once you're part of a much, much bigger ship. So that's where the focus is, from what we understand with the majors. And yeah, could we get a small shop that tries to imitate us? Sure, but we're building our resources, we're building the team, and we welcome competition. We're more than set to continue on this growth path.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so next question is, where is TRUBAR being manufactured, and is it from one single source?
No, so we have two co-mans, two state-of-the-art co-mans that are across the country, strategically placed, and so it's not one. We have redundancies.
Fantastic. Okay, so Gurinder asks, why CVS? It's more of a pharmacy chain. Did they have high listing or consignment fees?
Not high listing or consignment fees. And the reason why is it just gets into more doors, right? It's a neighborhood chain, right? You're going there to get your Claritin or your eyeglasses or your pharmacy, you know, going to the pharmacy and you can pick up your TRUBAR. So it just gives us more recognition inside of neighborhoods.
Gotcha. Okay, next question came in. This is targets you here, Erica. What's insider equity ownership, specifically, Erica? Now I know, I think I saw 22% was the insider ownership, but Erica, how much of the stock do you own?
So let me address that.
Sure.
Eric, for sure, you'd be between 5 million and 6 million shares between what you've purchased and options and warrants. So I don't know, Brian, if you've got the exact number there, but that's definitely the range. You know, back to the amount of capital that both our families have deployed here, plus our partners, it's significant. Erica's at 5 to 6 million. I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of about 12 million shares. So we're the number one and number two largest shareholders on the scene right now.
Fantastic. Good. Okay, next question. I'm impressed with how many questions we've got. This is much more than usual. So you guys have you've engendered strong interest.
It's the Charles bar again.
There you go. Exactly. The new Charles bar. Okay, so Charles asks, is the goal to pull back operations at 100 million of revenue, or only when presented with an offer to purchase?
No, absolutely. No. The goal here is to go past 100 million as fast as we can. And we are very, very comfortable with the resources to get to 100. If we need more capital, we definitely have access to keep growing until we get recognized. And I want to also highlight, you know, folks, look, our background with the PE, family office PE, and being involved in so many different businesses. When we get recognized, we also have the experience and capability to top some of the best investment bankers in the space. Might be a boutique, could be a major shop that's going to help us execute an auction process. This is just, you know, yeah, we're probably going to get a call when we start to track to 75 to 100. But rest assured, we are going to run a robust auction to maximize the price for this. But 100%, we're not taking the foot off the gas here once we get to 100. No, not at all.
Yeah, no, that would make sense for sure. Okay, back to Chris again. How much interest do you have from retailers in selling more than 2 or 3 flavors in their stores? Are there plans to relist TRUBAR in BJ's with new packaging or flavors? I'm curious, like what kind of feedback, or what kind of you know, call it, you know, contact from some of these retailers in terms of other ideas they may come back with?
Yeah, we are toying around with having multi-packs, right? Like more of a variety pack. We get asked all the time, right? To more of a sampler pack or 2 or 3 flavors. So we definitely are working on those, especially for like our direct to consumer avenues. And as far as BJ's, we are in discussions with them. So more to come. More to come.
Keep them guessing. Keep them guessing. Absolutely. Okay, this one's from Trevor. He asks, is the sales team hiring? Have you noticed a few of the guys left for Mr. Feastables? Oh, okay.
Yes, we are. We actually just hired a phenomenal girl about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. And we hired another girl who will be starting on Monday. So we're really excited for Kate, who just started about a month ago. She's doing awesome. It's huge she's phenomenal. I'm really excited to be working with her, as well as I'm excited to have MC start next week, and Reed's doing phenomenal. So we've got 3 great sales guys, people.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And then, and also you mentioned sort of internationally, you're starting to work with organizations that help you break into international markets as well.
Right.
So clearly your Scarlett, your sales efforts continues to grow quite nicely in a lot of different ways.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so Chris asks, what property did Paul Norman exchange for receiving 1 million shares as recently reported on SEDI? That might be a question for Kingsley.
Brian, can you help me on that?
Sure.
I'm not familiar with what they're referring to here.
Me neither.
So this
Brian's
goes
our
back.
Chief Financial Officer, folks.
This goes back to, I think, 2019. Paul Norman was involved with a private company called Heavenly RX, which ultimately took SBBC public. He was owed some monies from that venture. They had a significant amount of SBBC shares, and they settled his debt, that 1 million shares.
Gotcha. Perfect.
He's pretty happy about that transaction, I can tell you.
Yes. Okay, so Trevor asks, can you speak more to international expansion into Canada and back into Costco Canada?
We are working very hard on Canada, and we have a great plan. We're in discussions with Costco Canada as well as other retailers. So you'll see a lot more activations as well as retailers popping up soon.
And we've also onboarded, or in the process of onboarding, a new sales broker agency. More news on that front, but Canada is definitely a target market, and lots of good work being done on that front.
Fantastic. Okay, Gurinder asked, does CVS require certain sell-through prior to paying out from the sales at their stores?
Nope, they're purchasing it just like everyone else is. There's nothing.
Good. Nothing special for these
no
guys,
tricks
right?
up the sleeves or anything.
Exactly.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay, so another question from Trevor. Kingsley, could you please explain what you will do with the proceeds from eventual divestment? Tax efficient distribution to shareholders, question mark.
Sure. Look, happy to, look, the simple thought is this: we would do a special dividend for a significant portion of the proceeds from a sale for TRUBAR, and then continue to work with, building SBBC and some other brands. And we're hopeful that, we can find the next TRUBAR. So that is very much the plan. And, as one of the largest, well, I'm the largest shareholder, I look forward to a special dividend of significant size, in the not too distant future. But, this is extremely exciting to have the team that we have getting behind Erica. Now, again, folks, remember, Erica's done this by herself with no bloody help. No marketing dollars, no significant, experienced actors helping out and leaning in like some of our board members. It's really going to be an exciting run, and hopefully get, past the $100 million mark so we can make that exit even bigger.
In some ways, it's almost like if it's not broken, don't fix it. I mean, she's done a spectacular job. I think it is just get out of her way almost is the right way to approach this.
100%.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely that. And look, you want to take some advice from the seasoned guys from the sector, but absolutely, we want to keep the entrepreneurial spirit alive. It's top of the house in terms of priority here to follow Erica's lead. But folks, look at this Omnicom BBDO organization that we tapped into, Domino. If it wasn't for St. John Walsh and his relationship there, they only deal with billion-dollar brands. So again, back to, all right, Erica's front and center in terms of, talking and leading the strategy discussions. But you want to use these directors for their Rolodexes and keep the entrepreneurial spirit alive for sure, but tap into these fantastic resources along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so you got another question from Charles. He clearly knows the stuff here. He says, why has the almond flavor specifically been unable to purchase or well, I think you know the question. Why are we not getting the almond flavor in the Canadian market?
Yes. We did pull the almond flavor from Canada. It just wasn't performing as well as the other flavors. We do plan to bring it back. We're just waiting for a little more exposure, more doors. So you'll get it back. Don't worry.
He wants his almonds. Yeah.
You got to come to America to get it.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay, Hassan has asked, how's your website subscription doing? Can you talk about its advantages?
Yeah, we have a loyalty program on there where you can get points and earn to get a hat, to get discounts, there's all kinds of like fun tweaks and perks of being part of our subscription plan.
Awesome.
Even like the new flavors before other people. Maybe you'll get your almonds sooner than others.
It has its benefits. Membership has its benefits. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Okay, Charles is back here with a question. Are there any indications from the other SBBC brands like No BS that show potential of consuming significant market share in their categories?
Look, guys, it's really very early days for these brands. They're all sub 2-3 million of revenue. So it's very, very early days. And as we said earlier, this is all about getting behind TRUBAR, and we're going to manage those assets, and we'll see if there's potential beyond where they are today. But right now, we're in a maintenance mode with those assets. Maybe something really special could show up there. There has been some great discussions, but we're just not focusing on those small divisions like what we're doing here with the TRUBAR division.
I mean, this has been great. Clearly it's a sort of a revitalized story. Much clearer picture with a key product like this that just has had a rocket ship growth phase here. When as investors looking into this business, what do you think makes the most sense to sort of pay attention to? What kind of metrics or maybe catalysts should we really focus on going forward here?
Well, clearly, folks, back to that slide around the historic deals in the space. It's all about revenue here. And look, we're gonna build with an eye to making sure we do have a bottom line. And obviously, we are going to stay far away from where previous management took us into a danger zone around the stability of the business. So I think we just focus on building the revenue, and the catalysts are really all around major retailers being onboarded, and also some of these marketing efforts could result in significant revenue generation with executing some of the ideas that are being kicked around right now in terms of social media activation, influencer activation. Those types of events hopefully will lead to significant ramps in revenue. That's I think really the story. Obviously, we've got international as well. We talked about that, the innovation pipeline, all of it, I think, has elements of call it catalytic activity.
Fantastic. Did we miss anything? Have we missed anything that we should have talked about? Is there any key message you want to make sure that everybody walks away with today?
Well, I think back to the summary slide there. Look, we're just super excited about you know, these three pillars of activity to support TRUBAR. We are well capitalized now. We have more capital if we need to help the business along. There's going to be no shortage of that. And, you know, we're just excited about where we're headed this year, and we're looking to bigger and better things for 2025.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I mean, congratulations on great work so far. Clearly, you guys appear to be on the right track. This has been great to catch up like this, because I think it really helps sort of simplify the story and make sure everybody's paying attention as they should be. So really appreciate the time, Kingsley, Erica, and the rest of the team here. Thanks for joining us today. We've been speaking with the team from Simply Better Brands, SBBC, on the Venture Exchange. Listen, thanks one more time, and look forward to catching up with you guys in the near future.
Thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate everybody's time today.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now. Thanks, Erica.
Bye.
Bye-bye.